Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Frame by Frame.
Episode 10 already? It only seems 5 minutes since we did episode 9.
Oh my god, that's actually... Okay, we've hit double figures. I'm quite happy with that.
Both in our listenership and the amount of podcasts we've done.
Yeah, we're very lucky, we're very fortunate to have those 11 people.
Yeah.
Both of them are my mother.
You talking to me?
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
Then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like some clown. You?
I'm Peter Binkman. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
Damn! Hot.
I'm kind of a big deal.
First rule of Fight Club is do not talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, baby!
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But I'd like to thank the people from Russia who tuned in for 3 seconds. Very nice of you.
Very nice, yeah. We do have analytics, and we do look at our analytics to figure out who's watching, and
Yeah,
Russia really, I feel the love.
Yeah, we're doing really well in Canada.
Canada loves us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Comment,
I'm surprised
please.
that anybody... Please, comment, yeah. Just let us know what you really think. Honestly, don't worry about our feelings, because that's what YouTube's about. I mean, who really cares about feelings and comments on YouTube?
Exactly, yeah.
But,
so,
yes.
what are we to celebrate this momentous occasion?
Yes.
What are we going to discuss today?
We're going to talk about the Indiana Jones Trilogy. That's right.
It's not a trilogy though, is it?
Oh, but these 3 films we've grown up with, and you can't be without these 3 films. It's
I
a
agree.
heck of a trilogy.
It's not a trilogy though, is it? Because they did the one with the crystal face.
Oh, that wasn't an Indiana Jones film.
Was it not?
No, that was a commercial for diarrhea medicine for donkeys.
Look what you did! I can't believe what you did!
But yeah, we're here to talk about the Indiana Jones Trilogy. That's the 3 films. That's The Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and Indiana Jones and the Last
Crusade.
The final movie, The Last Crusade. Okay?
But it wasn't the last crusade.
It was the last.
He crusaded again.
Yes, in his tenor for men diapers that you put on old people.
Yeah, he creaked his way through a further
He
installment.
dribbled his way through another one.
But these films are great.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
That's why, because I mean, you grew up with them like we did with Star Wars. I mean, it seems to be the trilogy that you closely associate with Star Wars as second best.
Yeah. And the first idea of this, well, I think George Lucas he came up with the idea of Indiana Jones. I don't think it was called Indiana though. I think he had it. Or it was Indiana.
Don't call me Junior.
Could have been Smith or something like that.
Smith, possibly.
I think it was. And it was
because he's
Spielberg
he's so poetic.
Yeah, you know what he's like. He's great.
Yeah, Star Killer. Oh, yes. Yeah.
But so yes, I think it was Spielberg that changed it to Indiana Jones. But they were actually Spielberg and Lucas were on a beach in Hawaii waiting to get the box office reports from Star Wars, and Spielberg revealed to Lucas that he always wanted to direct a James Bond film.
It's quite funny because they did a lot of filming in Hawaii as well, so they had a lot of air miles to Hawaii during the making and before, obviously.
Yeah,
going. So if you ever want to find where Steven Spielberg and George Lucas come up with all their ideas, they're completely hopped up on punch.
Yeah, on a beach in Hawaii.
In a beach in Hawaii. So.
But yeah, that's where.
Yeah.
And then Lucas said, rather big-headedly, saying, "I've got something that's better than James Bond."
Better than James Bond.
Yeah, I can't. It's not better than James Bond. It's different.
It's different. There's no such thing. Well, yeah. It's American. They obviously wanted to have Indiana Jones as a series of film.
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
from the very start. Like, I mean, I think George Lucas is probably the first director who, apart from Francis Ford Coppola and The Godfather, but one of the first directors who literally can sell more than one film at a time. I think he was the start of that whole the trilogy thing going on. I mean, Godfather wasn't a trilogy until 1990, so you only had 2 films. So I guess that kind of works. So yeah, George Lucas really was the founder of the trilogy, and so he.
And I think by doing Indiana Jones, he invented this kind of action film.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, where it's just wall-to-wall action. The protagonist. I mean, I think it's pretty much like James Bond, because he has the bad woman that he has to tend with, and a good woman who he falls in love with, kind of.
So we start with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think this is one of the all-time best openings to a film ever.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really is. And what I like about it, when it first starts, it's really dark and kind of moody and brooding, isn't it? When they're walking through the forest, they find the cave, and you can see that like certain people are back. Some really classic lines as well, like, "Come on, there's nothing to fear here." Well, that's what scares me. Good lines, I love it.
Clever.
Yeah.
Gets you drawn in, but makes you think, yeah.
You learn all you need to know about the character in that first bit, which is nothing will ever go right for him.
True.
Because you think he's got everything in control. He gets his sand, puts it in the bag, he's weighing up, is that about? So he moves the idol, puts the sand on there, and then it instantly goes down and everything goes wrong for him.
Yeah, the sidekicks, double crossing.
Yeah.
Of it, who abandons him.
He does, yeah, because you toss me the idol, I'll toss you the whip. And then he drops it.
Yeah. You can tell he's trustworthy. He trusts everybody who goes on his crusades with him, and I guess he's a little bit too trustworthy, naive.
Yeah.
But he's able to get out of any situation.
But just by pure force of will, not by being incredibly skilled.
Yeah, it's not as there's no superhero.
Yeah, because when he drops the whip and you've got the walls coming down, and he jumps over and he grabs that like a vine, doesn't he? And you get that little bit like he smiles, or then the vine just starts to fall away, and
Yeah, so he thinks he's got it in the bag, and he rarely does.
Yeah.
And it's just blind luck and fortune that he actually gets through any situation. And that's pretty much the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, first 5 minutes, and you find all you need to know about him.
And he's scared of snakes.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
That's quite economic writing. And that was George Lucas's writing.
Yeah.
I just put the word economical, George Lucas. But didn't Lawrence Kasdan help pen?
I think he did.
He probably untangled what could have been quite a mess. Hopefully. But yeah, it's a very straightforward action film. The first one, you kind of with him straight away.
You are, yeah.
You get the ensemble. He's very specifically got a specific look: the hat, the whip, the gun.
Iconic look.
It's pretty much done what he said he wanted to do to kind of do James Bond, but just it's the Americana. It's the American James Bond. It's the Wild West James Bond.
And his pupils fall in love with him.
That's a weird thing. That's the school scenes when she closes her eyes,
says "love you" on her eyelids.
Yeah, but when you watched it as a kid, did you ever think, oh, I wish that's going to happen? I wish that could happen to me in school.
No, I think I was thinking, how the hell did she do that? Did she get someone else to do that? Maybe overthink things.
Yeah, maybe they have, but I just kind of thought, I just wish that could happen to me.
Oh.
Yeah, and then the pupil leaves an apple on his desk, and then you think, oh, George Lucas wrote that.
Yeah.
That's one of his lines. That's one of his bits. But yeah, I've noticed as well that the Indiana Jones trilogy, just talking about the whole ensemble, all the three films, they haven't gone through the mincer like Star Wars has.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
They haven't gone through special editions. What you see in that theatrical release is what you see in the DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah,
they have not done anything.
Thank God for that.
But why? Why has he not done that? Why has he not looked at that and thought, I mean, I'm just surprised. I mean, maybe because he gave it to Steven Spielberg. I mean, Spielberg is just not a real big fan of tinkering with his own work.
No, I think once Spielberg's his film's out there,
Yeah,
he's not going to start messing with it. He's not going to let Lucas start messing with it.
There's no uncut version. There's no definitive version. Every single edition that's come out on DVD or Blu-ray has just had the bog standard documentaries, and that's it. It hasn't been ruined, has it? Really? I mean, that these 3 films are absolutely perfect as a little trilogy.
So even releasing the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles couldn't ruin the 3 films.
Let's just talk about the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles as a TV series. It had so much money thrown at it. It was basically, this is what I've read, it was actually a testing ground for the Star Wars prequels. ILM had... Yeah, hear me out. They purposely wrote in crowd scenes, big city views, and so that they can start practicing the whole putting too much CGI into one image. So that they can learn how to screw up the Star Wars prequels.
I'm really glad they practiced because
they did well.
They did well.
Just basically crowd placement, making things look big and spectacular in the background, and having special effects everywhere. There were actually a lot more special effects in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles than people actually noticed, because they were actually all done very subtle and tasteful and in the background.
The only one I remember of the Young Indiana Jones is the one that Harrison Ford was actually in. I'm sure he played like a blues musician in it.
Yeah, because...
And the singer in it, because he was playing the guitar, but the singer was Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was him.
So...
He was like, Sneaky Benny, Indiana Jones!
Yes, the joke,
That's Jar Jar Binks. Check it out.
Is it really?
Oh, no, I'm making it up.
Please, I wanted it to be true. I wanted it to be true so much then. And if I could actually just make a little video and just this is like a test.
Yeah,
but yeah, Young Indiana Jones was a test for Star Wars, but how did he actually get that series on the television? Because nobody watched it, nobody remembers it, nobody cares. And yet he was able to have every episode out there and then put every single episode religiously out on video. I don't know if it's out on DVD or Blu-ray, but...
I would imagine it's on DVD somewhere, but...
Yeah, it was a big Paramount sellout for, whenever you buy a Star Trek video.
I remember now, this is how I saw that episode.
Uh-huh.
In the 90s, when I was at college, they released the original Indiana Jones Trilogy.
That's right, on video.
On video, and there was an extra video that was the Young Indiana Jones, and it was one with Harrison Ford in it.
They did that?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that. You got a box. It didn't come in the box set. You got it. If you bought the box set, you got it.
Right.
So please, someone watch it. Please just take it. An act of desperation, perhaps.
Well, they had videos to get rid of, I guess. And, but I would have thought they would have gotten rid of the least popular ones and not the ones with Harrison Ford in it. But because they had to sell...
Well, maybe, it was, you watched that and think, that was pretty good. I'll go and get some more. But I didn't. It wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Mainly because I watched Raiders, Temple, and The Last Crusade straight through, back to back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then because I was still hungry for more Indiana Jones, I put that on afterwards, and it was a bit of disappointment after watching the 3 great films.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, it set something in motion with that character, and I'm surprised though that they only did 3. I'm really surprised that they didn't venture forward to do any more than that.
I'm glad if they had done it, would have been better to do it like in quick succession, not wait a long time and then do one.
It's a bit late now.
Everyone's a bit old.
It's a bit late now. I mean, I'm glad they didn't follow through with that. I mean, they left it with Last Crusade.
So let's talk about Raiders.
Yes, tell me what your overall thoughts about Raiders then.
It's my favourite of the 3.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
It's quite. I'd say it's famous now because of Big Bang Theory, but it's interesting just to note that what happens in the film, if Indiana Jones weren't in it, it would have all happened anyway. He had no control. He didn't change anything that happened in it. It would have all happened whether he'd been there or not. What I like about Raiders, though, through the whole thing, is the presence of God, the wrath and the menace of God over watching the entire film. I feel that when I'm watching Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wow, but that's profound because there is no. I mean, Morgan Freeman doesn't appear in any of these films.
It's implied throughout the film. Anytime they're talking about something biblical, that a wind will blow through a wind. Yeah, a wind will blow through a wind. That's tricky. It's hard to do. See a physicist about that.
See a doctor about that. Well, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and then the music goes evangelical and thoughtful. And
but dark, always dark.
Yeah.
It's trying to portray the menace of God.
Yeah.
The wrath of him.
But that's kind
of Old Testament God was a bit of a dick.
But let's give George Lucas his due.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
you're going to say that one
in the Last Crusade, his father was deeply religious and had him marking the Bible, and he was using the Bible, of course, as a tool to look for artifacts. But he wanted Indiana Jones to know it.
Yeah.
Back to back, because he knew it would help him when he eventually becomes, obviously a father wants to have his son follow in his footsteps. So yeah, I mean, the backstory of that worked really well, and the fact that was in the third film, it ties in really well with everything that Indiana Jones does in Raiders, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade.
Yeah.
So there is a certain religious kind of overseeing body that is there, present throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. And obviously they're going after the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So...
it could be more on the nose, really, than actually, this is biblical. Okay! So is the Holy Grail, and the Temple of Doom, the little potatoes, the baked potatoes that glow.
Because they were potatoes that God himself had cooked.
Okay.
And given to this tribe, saying, don't eat these potatoes.
Yeah. They will get your children back when they're
Yeah, and then they go, oh, which God are you?
Yeah, which God? Yeah.
I'm Yahweh, I'm the only God. And they go, no, that's not our God. And then we had this, so he just went, right. Just leave
Keep your freaking potatoes.
Your freaking potatoes. We should have discussed about this beforehand, but who was originally slated to be Indiana Jones?
I know this one. It seems as though they only ever tested one other person in a long line of possible actors. Tom Selleck. Who was actually at that time, I don't know if he'd already done the audition or was actually being marked up to play in Magnum PI. And I think that during the audition he did say to him that because they offered him the role, they offered him the role on the spot. He says, well, I've already got a job, Magnum PI, and they says, don't let us worry about that. So they said, well, we'll leave it for a while. And of course the networks were getting itchy because they said, well, you need to have locked him in by now. And unfortunately they left it too long that they said no. Okay. It almost as if they were afraid of because he's being unreliable, they're thinking he could be difficult. So they just decided to go with the next best person, who was the carpenter. Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus. He turned it down.
He turned it down.
Although he did have some background in carrying a heavy burden.
Yeah, he did have a big carry. Huge
burden. Wow.
And but he did make a comeback in one of Mel Gibson's later films. But yeah, Harrison Ford got the role. But then it was quite amusing because they the story goes that he was told I think it was either a letter or a phone call from Steven Spielberg, saying, you're absolutely great, and I'm really sorry. I'm actually really sorry that we haven't gone ahead with you, and that we haven't been able to lock you in for this, and we very much like to do something with you again in the future. And so, of course, Steven Spielberg didn't do anything at all with Tom Selleck in any of his movies, and he never got a call back.
Yeah, you do. There's a lesson to be learned there. Never say no to Spielberg.
Never say no to Spielberg. And plus, as Magnum P... Is it Magnum PI?
Yeah, it's not GI.
Magnum G.I. Joe, was, as it was being penned, there was a writer's strike. And Tom Selleck had actually gone to Hawaii to film some Magnum PI episodes, and they called it off, and he wasn't getting paid. He'd already paid for an apartment and he wasn't able to pay rent, so he got a job as a carpenter.
You're kidding me.
To cover the costs until the writers' staff came back and they were able to resume recording. And just as he was actually working in Hawaii as a carpenter to cover the costs of the period of the writers' strike, everybody was there. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Harrison Ford were shooting scenes for Raiders of the Lost Ark. So in a way, Tom Selleck could have still done it and still been in Magnum PI for that time.
That's quite amazing.
The time that he was not doing Magnum PI, he had to get another job.
That's amazing.
As a
I never
carpenter.
knew that. That's brilliant. Because obviously, famously, Harrison Ford was a carpenter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So was Jesus. It's amazing how all these connections.
That's the Holy Trinity.
That's the Holy Trinity.
Jesus, Tom Selleck, Harrison Ford.
Right there. Yeah. Oh my God, we're back.
5%.
5% right there. That's it.
That was great.
Love it. That's not.
So, what's your favourite out of the three?
Jesus, of course.
The three Indiana Jones films. What's your favourite?
Oh, that might be the Holy Trinity. Yeah, Raiders. I mean, I really like the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
I wish that Winnie Scott and Short Round weren't in it.
Really?
Because
I like Short Round. I the little bit when they're playing card games and then both of them are cheating. There's a real cool dynamic going on there.
Hey, you cheat, Dr. Jones. You cheat. You did full car. You say now. No step. No mistake.
Mistake.
I'm very little. You cheat very big. Dr. Jones, you cheat. You pay money. You owe me 10 cents.
Look at this. Look at this. You accuse me of cheating? You
你
cheated.
攞4張牌，我4張牌，你有攞4張牌，你知冇得 No， 你一攞，你攞4張，我冇。You make me poor. No fun. Play with you. No fun.
Oh, fine, I quit.
there is, yes, that for those scenes, but then for a lot of it, they should have just backed them up a bit.
Right, yeah.
For me, I think Winnie Scott got a little bit too whiny, a little bit too much. She was too much front of the screen, and I know that's because Steven Spielberg wanted to give her exposure.
Yeah.
Because it's his wife.
Yeah.
Or wife to be, I think, at that time.
I think when they meet her there, isn't that how we met her?
Probably, yeah. But so that was why she was very much. I just kind of felt as though she crowded the screen with Indy a little bit too much.
Yeah, I suppose because you have such a strong female character in Raiders.
Yeah.
To have this sort of whiny, it was the way to go, I guess.
Yeah, I guess because it was a challenge for Indy because he's never actually had that kind of a problem in his life.
And it should be said that Temple of Doom is set before Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Of course, yeah. The whole, what is it with George Lucas and not being able to do things chronologically in an order?
He's just a dick, isn't he?
He just doesn't. I mean, seriously, man. So so Temple of Doom is actually before, but yeah, she.
You don't even have. Let's just address that for a second. What is the reason to just say, oh well, Temple of Doom's actually set before Raiders of the Lost Ark is? Why? What's the point?
Did he make a mistake and actually details within the film were?
Unless someone picked up on some sort of detail. I can only. It just seems such a George Lucas thing to do. Yeah,
why not just do that and then make that a little bit in the future and that's a little bit in the past.
That's quite good.
I'm trying really hard to. Okay, well, Andy, this is why, because sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing, and other people around me tell me things, and I think it's a good idea, and I run with it. Also, Temple of Doom was made at the same time as George Lucas was going through a divorce, and I think we touched upon that when we talked about him doing Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
That Howard the Duck was kind of like his divorce settlement movie. This was his. Temple of Doom was his. I'm pissed off and moody, and this is how I'm going to show it, with hot potatoes and whiny women.
Yeah, it is a lot darker. It is a darker film, and these films run over the Christmas period, which is why they're sort of in recent memory again now. And my daughter loved the first one. She couldn't watch the second one; it scared her. Yeah, it is dark. It is dark. But then Empire Strikes Back was dark. So when George Lucas does make trilogies, he makes them makes the second one darker. It seems to be a habit. Yeah. Apart from with the prequel Star Wars, the second one wasn't darker than The third one goes dark when he kills all those young Jedi.
The second one is dark because the second one is that one where his mother dies and he kills a lot of the.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, I thought it was the third one.
Does he
did
kill?
that. No, it's the third one where he kills.
It's the third one he kills all the children.
And that's when his mum dies, isn't it?
Obviously, I've been talking about retiring for several years now. I wanted to get into sort of another stage of life where I'm not in the film business anymore.
Well, yeah, Temple of Doom, I think, would have been my favourite if it wasn't for the whining and the crowd, the screen crowding of
right, because I think Temple's my least favourite of the three.
Yeah, I think I just wanted it because it was.
But they did. Yeah. In PG-13 was invented because of that film.
Yeah.
And I think another film that Spielberg had done at the time, where they were getting complaints that they were pushing PG too far.
Was it Empire of the Sun?
No, I don't think it was Empire.
That wasn't that dark, was it?
It might have been Poltergeist, you know.
Poltergeist was 1982.
Right. Well, I know he was getting a lot of criticism, but it shows the power that Spielberg has. He's like, all right, well, I'll just invent another certification.
Yeah, BBFC had to comply with their own 12.
Yeah.
That was the first 12, wasn't it?
Well, it's PG-13 in America.
Yeah, but what was the first 12? That's an interesting one. I'm gonna have to find out now. Tim Burton, 1989, Batman. That's interesting. So there's a bit of power there.
Yeah.
So but PG-13, of course, is the 12 that we have.
Yeah, we have 12 there, PG-13.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm so used to PG-13 being a part of. It seems that there's so much crossover now because we always see the posters online.
Yeah.
Now and so Temple of Doom and Short Round he was one of those characters because of Goonies. Yeah. Was it Goonies? Was definitely before.
Yeah. It's sort of like people loved him in Goonies.
So let me put him front and centre.
Yeah, shoehorn him into this.
Yeah, and I did love the scene when he was playing cards of Indy, and I did appreciate that. But
obviously you got her whining all around it.
Yeah,
because there's that little sort of physical comedy, isn't it, where she'll go somewhere and a bat scares her. She goes to the other parts and else scares her. Yeah. But then you got a nice little gag because the elephant won't leave her alone, keeps putting the trunk over her, and then it snakes, so she throws it. And it scares Indy.
Which is incredible. Which is reversal. That's playing the game. So there is a lot of skill.
That's Spielberg playing that. That's Spielberg thinking, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So and the third one to me just kind of it went through the motions. It was very, very enjoyable because I love the chemistry between Harrison Ford. I mean, to say that Harrison Ford has chemistry is sometimes a bit of a misnomer because he's an underplaying character all the time. He never plays anything that's too far out of the realms of control.
But he's just got such charisma.
Yeah, there is charisma,
especially in those first three films.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's he carries his charisma carries him. He doesn't really have to.
That's why he got the role as Han Solo, because of his charisma and charm. And, and that was great. And of course, he kind of kept it down under the lid, so to speak, for his Indiana Jones films. And so I still like Raiders as my favourite, but
I think Raiders is definitely the best film.
Yeah,
it's got everything, and
it's got melting faces. I love that scene.
Yeah,
it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I wish for anything more.
I love the truck, the van scene. You know, when he's trying to get the ark out of the van and all that, where he goes under the.
Yeah,
that's just brilliant. You know, because it's just there was no CGI really. You know,
and it was all physical.
Yeah, and the real actors doing real things.
And the fight at the airplane was also two stuntmen fighting, and they literally choreographed the scene with the propellers of the plane going at full speed. And that is an incredible thing to do.
Yeah, in filming that, the airplane actually ran over Harrison Ford's foot. Yeah, so he had to put it in a cast, wrap it up, and just carry on filming.
He did a lot of that during the film. I mean, of course.
Well, he has this. Yeah, well, the famous scene where he shoots that guy. Yeah, he had dysentery, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I mentioned diarrhea at the beginning of this episode. You see, I try and tie every loose comment. I try and
every loose
bowel comment to something that is linking to what we're talking about. Honestly, I do try.
We talk about they've not been tampered with. They have slightly. because
Well, what was that? What?
when we said they'd not been digitally tampered with,
Really?
the film you've got.
Ooh.
You know when on the video version when Indy drops into the pit with all the snakes and that cobra sort of up like that. In the original ones, you can see the window between him and the cobra.
Yes,
and
and there's a fog. There's a fog of breath from the snake or something. Or?
Yeah, some venom comes out of the snake and it hits the window.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously when they re-released it on DVD, they digitally took that out.
Well, that's appropriate.
That is appropriate.
That is exactly what retouching and enhancing is.
Yeah,
that is.
Because if Lucas had been doing that, he'd have brought a bloody elephant down there and...
Did you get to see any of these films in the cinema?
Last Crusade, I saw it in the cinema.
I didn't see any of them.
Yeah.
Apart from the fourth one. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the cinema.
Did I? Yeah. Oh my god, there was a fourth film. Let's not go there yet.
No.
Still ground to cover. What's next?
Last Crusade. Do you know the Last Crusade was supposed to have a haunted castle in it?
Yeah.
Spielberg didn't want to do it because he just done Poltergeist.
Yeah, well, yeah. That makes
sense. He was all fed up with ghosts, so yeah, they got rid of that. Well, I think it's because he'd done Poltergeist.
Because he had done Poltergeist.
Yeah, because around that time he was venturing from one thing to another. He didn't want to repeat anything he'd already done, did he? So
he's not one to do sequels. No. And yet Indiana Jones was that thing, that vehicle that he actually did jump on 3 times. It's quite, I guess it's quite brave of him. For someone who said, I will not make sequels. E.T. will never be a sequel. Jaws, somebody else can screw that up. I'm not able, but he's never, Close Encounters could have easily have had a sequel.
But it would have, it would have ruined it. Yeah. What would the sequel been? What happened on the UFOs who've been taken? Do
you think that at any moment of, say, the prequels of George Lucas, did Steven Spielberg beforehand say, you really shouldn't do this? I can do a George Lucas, I can't do a Steven Spielberg. If you think about it, George Lucas after Howard the Duck couldn't do anything else. He just knew. We all knew he was going to come back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
But why not jump on the Indiana Jones wagon straight after Last Crusade? Why did he not see that?
Because the Last Crusade is just such. It tied it all together.
Yeah.
There didn't need to be any more after that.
Spielberg said no. That's what it was.
Yeah, he did. He didn't want to.
He said we're not doing anymore, and that's why he did the Young Indiana Jones.
Because I think the reason the fourth one got made. The only reason is I know,
painful that you're actually calling it the fourth. But yeah. Sorry, why it got made? Why did it get made?
Well, I think everybody wanted one. Since the Last Crusade, I think one of the questions Spielberg was getting asked the most is like, we're going to have any more Indiana Jones films? We want them.
So
people wanted them.
Is it through pressure? Is it because they're sick and tired? It's like, okay, I'll have kids. If people keep on telling me, when are you going to have children? Okay, let's have kids.
Yeah,
is that a reason to make a fourth? They must have had other reasons other than money.
Well, Lucas wanted to do it, I think.
Did Harrison Ford want to do it?
Yeah, I think he did.
Did he look like he wanted to do it? No.
That's a good point. Yeah,
it's a funny thing because you see that charisma. Is there any charisma from him in that fourth film?
There's the odd little glimpse of his former self.
Was
at times?
Was that after lunch? Was that the call after lunch?
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
He'd got up about 9 o'clock. Breakfast, another kip. Wake up, lunch, and then he was sort of there about an hour of good Ford.
Of good Ford. Yeah, part time. That's why. So yeah, Last Crusade. What did you think of Last Crusade?
I think it's really fun.
Yeah,
it's the dynamic between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery is fantastic.
Junior, give me your other hand. I can't hold on.
I can get it. I can almost reach it, Dad. Indiana? Let it go.
Mine Elsa as well. Was it Elsa?
Yeah, she was a really...
She didn't overdo it.
No, she didn't, and... Yeah, it was a good little... did you see it coming when you watched it for the first time, thinking, "Oh, she's going to be she's going to be a Nazi.
Well, no, because the thing is, Indiana Jones is not that. With James Bond, you expect it.
Yeah. So
You
that's
expect-
why
they're all Nazis.
I thought it was really good. You know?
Yeah.
Interesting. When we watched this over Christmas, my daughter, she's 5, and we were watching The Last Crusade, and she was really enjoying it. And just out of nowhere, she went, "You know what, Dad? I really don't like Nazis."
She has no idea.
I thought it was just such a cute, adorable thing to say, and right as well.
But it was, I think, the whole...
Should mention there at the very
thing.
beginning as well, River Phoenix.
River Phoenix, yes. Which, for some reason, makes me think that George Lucas had intended to do young Indiana Jones with River Phoenix in mind, but because he died...
Well, the reason River Phoenix made it into this is because they just done Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford recommended him.
Get this kid in, he's really good. Yeah.
And that's a really good opener.
Yeah, it is.
Well, with the circus train and all that, that's really good. And just have the guy who inspired him to become who he finally came to be.
Couldn't have been anybody else, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's great as well, where he puts the hat on River Phoenix, and and then when he lifts his head up, it's Harrison Ford on that boat, and he gets that punch, and he's just back into another straight. Like, brilliant, really good.
And I think that Harrison Ford must have just seen in River Phoenix that Indiana Jones fire, that charisma, and he was that. I mean, from what you hear, memories of River Phoenix were that he was this amazing, gifted, talented actor who was just cut short in his prime, just like James Dean. Yeah. But you never got to see who he could have been, and I think he was. There has to be something to it that he was actually going to be penned in to do Indiana Jones again.
You think?
I think that he was supposed to be intended for the Chronicles,
the young Indiana Jones, but it would have been too big of a movie style thing to, unless
they wanted to do movies instead of the series, and the money had to go somewhere.
Yeah,
they had loads of money for that series.
Yeah,
so and it all went on special effects. It didn't go on storylines. No, Temple of Doom opening was forgettable, really.
Yeah, it was,
apart from the kebab stick through the Japanese guy's chest, and that was, I mean, it was a singing and dance number with Steven Spielberg's wife. She opened the film, and then
usually he's trying to get something, and everything goes wrong for him. But this time he's trying to save a village, isn't he? Essentially.
Yeah, until but in that first one, in that first scene, he's in that white suit.
He is, yeah. They poison him, don't they?
That is the James Bond opening.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do. I mean, they had the song number, the big Shirley Bassey number, opening it up.
Yeah.
They must have been in direct competition with one of the latest James Bond films that was probably coming out at the same time, and they needed to just slap him in the face with that. It felt like it was very much on the nose of a James Bond film. And the kebab skewer thing doesn't work. It's hilarious. I know, but it wouldn't make any sense. It would have meant the meat had to go through him, and then the hole that's gone through him has gone smaller, so when he pulls it back through, the meat comes off. Yeah, and there's no way he'd sit there and go, ah, without actually wanting to pick something off it and have a little nibble. Come on. Exactly. Tofu? What was the club called? Lao Shin. No. That was the name of the plane. Yeah, it was the Obi-Wan. Was it called the Obi-Wan? Yeah, it was Obi-Wan Lounge thing. That's Lucas, after putting his Star Wars into everything, in the Well of Souls, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, apparently in the hieroglyphics, there's an R2D2 and a C3PO. He does this, and funnily enough, let's rip on George Lucas a little bit more, because the poor guy, he's used to it by now. I'm sure he's numb to all the but this is actually quite fascinating. As a kid, he used to like dressing up his house as a fun house, so that all the kids can come around and be scared. He charged them a fee to come in. Of course he did. To his house to experience the Lucas Funhouse experience, and allegedly. Now I say allegedly because the kids walk around the house and learn about trade unions and stuff like that. That sounds like a parody in the making. The young George Lucas film we should make. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, apparently every year he thought about new and different ways to make it better, and then he'd invite the same kids around, charge them the same amount of money, and show them something that'd been slightly enhanced and slightly different.
That's very telling.
But I think that's kind of, I reckon that's been shoehorned in.
Yeah.
But I reckon part of that story is true. The bit that's true is that he used to dress his house up as a haunted house in order to scare the children.
So every year now at Skywalker Ranch,
Yeah.
they'll do like a Halloween theme that invites kids round, but instead of there being things, it's just green screens all around the house.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious! Yeah. And it's
It's not scary now, but when you watch the footage afterwards, you'll be terrified.
But then they got the kids going and say, I don't understand. What is it I'm supposed to do? It's just sort of like, just go with it and just make it look like you're scared. So. That would be great. That is hilarious. I mean, have you seen the making of documentary of Attack of the Clones? You've got Natalie Portman standing on that conveyor belt, which is supposed to be that big factory, and she's being told, you've got to go over that blue thing there, got to go under that blue thing over there, and then go around that blue thing there. And she stands there and looks at him. You are kidding me. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Are you sure? Is this? She thought it was a joke. She thought that all of that blue screen stuff, when it became physical, it was just a joke. And it is. I mean, how can actors stand there and stare at that and go, oh my god, there's something coming towards me and it's got teeth?
It sort of takes the direct out of director.
Going back to Last Crusade, some classic moments in there.
Yeah, and again, I get the feeling they think, right, I don't think people like Templars Doom as much as Raiders of the Lost Ark. So you get the feeling they say, well, what was about Raiders that everyone loved? Let's just kind of do that.
Yeah, so maybe it was a more safe bet than the Temple of Doom was. That is the Indiana Jones trilogy. Always a joy to watch.
Yeah, never get old.
No, they never get old.
They never get old. But what does
get old,
unfortunately, happen to the human form when the years pass? Oh, favourite line out of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Favourite line?
It just is quite apt. It's not the age, honey. It's the mileage.
Ah,
love that line. It's a great line.
It's not that memorable because I forgot.
All right. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah. No.
Any of the 14 people that might possibly listen to this, if that line's ever stayed in you, write to us.
Write to us, and Mother, that you can text me.
So, okay.
No, Stephen, I haven't watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I have seen The Lake House.
Your mum sounds just like George Lucas.
All my characters are the same. Every single one.
So okay, go on then. So
that's the trilogy.
After the trilogy, it was perfect as it was. It was great. Nothing could really dent the joy and love we have for that character, these films, until
Alien Resurrection. Oh, sorry, that's another fourth movie.
That's another fourth movie.
And can I just jump in with a bit of a criticism here? The word quadrilogy, I can't even say it. Quadrilogy doesn't exist. The word quadrilogy does not exist.
It does exist.
Die Hard Quadrilogy box set. The Alien Quadrilogy box set. This word does not exist. It was not. It's not a word. It's a nonsensical word that they built because they wanted to have one more better than the trilogy.
It's a marketing bonanza gone wild. Yeah. That's what it is.
Well, it is now. I mean, it's probably in there now. I mean, there's a lot of words in the dictionary that you'll be like, what? I mean, even Minger's in there.
Is it?
Yeah, I know. It's very sad. Yeah.
Is
Damn you, Webster.
Is Spice World the movie in there?
No, but Spice Up Your Life is an expression for
female
arousal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Crystal Face.
Now, this movie has been ripped apart by critics already.
Yeah, so we don't need to do it. What is good about it?
Yeah, what is good? Okay. I think the idea of actually getting the cast together to do a film is a great idea. No, that's a lie. Sorry, it's not a good idea. Harrison Ford is always good as Indiana Jones.
It was good to see him in the hat again, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the costume department did a really good job at making that hat.
Yeah.
And don't forget the prop masters; they made the props and the.
Well,
whips.
apparently it was the same hat.
Was it the same hat?
The original, yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's quite cunning because they did mess it up with the dust. So I'm surprised that they didn't actually have that in a museum.
So we didn't have Nazis.
No, let's not talk about the storyline right now because
I'm trying to say what was good about it. There was no Nazis in
there
it.
Were not, was that a good thing?
It's okay. A good thing. It's always a good thing to not have Nazis.
Yeah, well, the Nazis did outlive their welcome. It's the Nazis we have.
We have the old Cold War Russians.
Really? Yes, of course.
Those
because
damn commies.
Because they're the other pure evil that we had to face.
Let's talk about the actual level of the actors that are in this film.
Okay, the actors.
John Hurt.
John Hurt's fantastic.
Wow,
amazing.
What did they do with him?
Well, they called him Oxy. They named him after a pimple removal cream. Is that what they did?
Ray Winston.
Ray Winston.
Who kept calling Indiana Jones Jonesy.
Jonesy?
Yeah.
Because...
Hey, Jonesy!
Was that just a character thing that they needed to have?
Yeah, just affectation.
Yeah.
They didn't need to have it. I actually think...
Kate Blanchett as well. She was.
Okay, of course she was. Yeah, she was the main Russian psychic lady.
Because that Russia was full of psychic females leading. So yeah,
I like the whole bit in the warehouse.
Yes, yeah, you like that?
That was okay. That was done fairly well.
Yeah, if science forgets the rules of magnetism, just for a minute. Because
well, we'll talk about alien technology, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, I guess it's
because there's aliens in this film.
Pardon?
There are aliens in this film.
No, there aren't.
They are.
No,
oh no, sorry, they're interdimensional beings.
That's better. As if it makes a freaking difference. It's still aliens, and but yeah,
they're going back to space. They're going back to the space between space. We're trying to find out what we like about it.
Well, oh, sorry, yeah, okay.
So let's not.
Oh, I can't help it.
It's difficult, isn't it?
It's because I felt so disappointed. I find it very hard. Okay,
that's
so
it.
What was
that's
good?
it. It's the disappointing,
and it's hard.
That's how I felt. I remember being so excited when I knew this film was coming out.
Yeah.
They were putting like webisodes on the Indiana Jones website. I was checking every single one when they wrapped up, and they were saying like, "That's the wrap," and I was like, "God, the film is going to be edited." I was so excited.
Yeah, anticipation.
Yeah, because my mum took me watching The Last Crusade, so I even went with my mum to watch this.
Yes.
And I felt...
How did she feel about it?
The same, just completely... My mum, she didn't get as affected by film as we do.
No, because
I come out and I was like, that's just... Oh, it was awful. My mum was like, oh, it wasn't very good. Wasn't.
We were actually we need to carry on looking at the people who were in this film. I mean, Kate Blanchett, of course. Karen Allen comes back as Marion because that's exactly what her character would do. Shia LaBeouf is in there. I don't mind Shia LaBeouf in this.
He's okay. Yeah, he plays the James Dean type character fairly well.
He does what he's told. He doesn't. Yeah, and I think he did what he was told. And
do you think, because Lucas is so obsessed with getting young Indiana Jones out there, that his idea was to
again?
Now she is in this. We can do more Indiana Jones, but from Indiana Jones' son.
And of course, every time George Lucas wants to do this, somebody puts a bag over their head or dies.
Yeah.
It's either one or the other. It's like either they die too young or they're sticking paper hats on their heads.
I'm going to put a conspiracy theory out there.
Okay, that was a conspiracy theory.
Shia LaBeouf purposely went off the rails to get George Lucas off his back.
Okay.
I'm putting that out there.
Ooh, interesting.
This is the only way I can
get
rid of him and get him to stop
is to make him unlikable, make him box office venom.
Yeah.
Poison.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting little theory there.
Let's go with that.
Okay. So Shire, are you going to call me back? Like Shire? Oh, hang on! I've just got a video just come through, and you're okay.
The Shia would be like on the phone to Lars von Trier. Lars, man,
What am I
how am
gonna
I
do?"
going to get Lucas off my back? He goes, put a bag over your head and say you're not famous.
Yeah, they probably told him to do that.
Yeah.
Figuratively. And Lars von Trier. Oh my God, there is.
Yeah,
this is
and then I
such
tell you
an
what,
interesting
my next
conspiracy.
film, Nymphomaniac, you can be in it.
You could be in it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that will help.
And there you go. And then Luke's is like, I can't have him now.
Okay, so let's just scrap that idea. Shia LaBeouf was the last straw. Shia LaBeouf was the straw that broke George Lucas's back,
Yeah.
and we just don't know it. We just had no idea.
Come on, 14 people who listen to this. Get
Come
that,
on.
get that out there.
Get that out there. So yeah, so Shia LaBeouf was in there, and he was likable in this. Ray Winston was, yeah,
He was Ray Winston in
he
it.
was Ray Winston. John Hurt played a
Unrecognisable.
Yeah, but unrecognisable for no point. They could have just had anybody in the role, and it wouldn't have mattered because we didn't really care. Jim Broadbent was in there,
Oh, yeah, of course he was.
and I don't understand why. Because
He had a crappy bow tie on.
They didn't need to have another character. They didn't need to have this many characters. They need to just calm down a bit.
I think that shows the love and affection people have for Indiana Jones as those three films. That all them wanted to be in it.
Okay.
That's what it says to me. And the end product was completely ruined and...
Okay, so okay, so we're going with the notion that this was actually going to be an amazing experience for everybody.
Yeah, everyone wanted to be in Indiana Jones film. It was like the reason Samuel L. Jackson is in Star Wars, because he just wanted to be in a Star Wars film.
True. Why was Karen Allen in there? For the same reason? Why did she come back to do Marion?
That just seems like such a George Lucas thing. Oh, we've got to have... Which is the lady we talk about most out of the radio, the
Yeah.
Indiana Jones franchise. It'll be her.
Yeah.
Karen Allen's the one that gets spoken about the most. So we'll bring her back because we want Indy to have a son. So that'll be his son that he doesn't know about that she had.
And it had to be from her because we want that character to have that kind of personality.
Yeah.
But in a way, I kind of wish that the script had been given to somebody who had common sense
This is
to
another
get
thing.
rid of the alien part.
There was a script floating around Indiana Jones and the quest for Atlantis.
Yes,
That sounds infinitely
so
more interesting.
much more exciting. Yeah, and it's something that's recognisable. I mean, the Ark of the Covenant, instantly recognisable as something that is as a sought after artifact. The hot potatoes as a MacGuffin for something else, for getting everybody wants to get it was about rescuing the children.
It was,
for that
yeah.
one, so that was personal.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to make sure that children are safe.
Right, the Holy
The
Grail.
Holy Grail. Everybody knows what the Holy Grail is.
Yeah.
But this convoluted, what do you call it? Is it like where do they go at the end? Is it like
they get into that chamber, don't they?
it's a chamber?
And there's
Sand-
loads of aliens all the way around, and one with no head on. When they stick the head on it, they all turn.
They all turn, and it's kind of like the key that
Yeah.
goes in the lock. But obviously that this big monument was just built, like the maze in Maze Runner. It's such an elaborate thing.
Oh no! Look, it turns out to be a UFO, a spaceship.
Yeah, it's a spaceship.
Oh no, it's interdimensional.
Yeah, but what if it was just underground? Why couldn't it just take off?
It was missing one of its heads.
It needed to have its head put in there so that it could take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit thin, isn't it?
It's so...
This is how it should have gone, right?
Okay.
Indiana Jones finds Atlantis.
Yes.
Some other nasty people are trying to find it, or something like
the
that.
Russians will be fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
But not psychics.
Not psychic Russians.
Just typical Brutish Russians who just want to kill.
And at the end...
Who want power.
And at the end, Indy should have died.
In a gulag. After being...
Sometimes they
waterboarded.
Yeah.
in a gulag in Siberia. He freezes to death. And then they pull his body out and it's too much like Han Solo in Carbonate.
Yeah. Well, not what I mean. Seriously, I think
they should have killed him off.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect way to end it. Is in they find Atlantis, something magical happens. Would be amazing. He dies saving everybody.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect. Still to this day, people are begging for one more Indiana Jones film.
Still?
Yeah.
But people need to stop begging and actually do something.
I think Harrison Ford wants to do it. I think he wants to do it.
Yeah, they have been rumours, and it has been said that that IMDb does have a page for Indiana Jones 5. And it goes something like this. According to Variety, an article penned Peter Karanicus, deputy editor to the Hollywood Trade magazine, so misinformation is not something to be expected within this article's content, of course. About midway through the article, Karanicus recaps some of the projects that Janusz Kaminski, oh my god, why do they have to have such complicated names, worked on as a cinematographer. And then he caps a paragraph with the following line: his next project is the upcoming 5th Indiana Jones movie. And Kaminski is a long-time collaborator for Steven Spielberg as a cinematographer. And if he has already got planning in the works for serving as a cinematographer for Indiana Jones 5, then work on the film must be further along than any of us realise. Indiana Jones 5 rumours have been swirling around for several years, of course, but this is the first mention about a project's possible future.
Wow.
Well, Harrison Ford wants to do it. He'd do it. He said he'd do it in a New York minute.
How long is that?
Apparently not so long, according to the Olsen twins. Yeah, I don't care if they make another one. I have no control over whether they do or not.
Okay, they've made it. It's coming out the cinema tomorrow.
Okay.
Are you going to go and watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? Why does it happen? Why?
Because it's Indiana Jones.
Why? I know, but we don't. We
don't need it.
No.
We don't want it. But if they did it,
yeah,
we'd be there in our millions watching it.
Oh man, it's like Doritos. It's like bloody Pringles. Once you stop popping, you just can't stop popping.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why we're so controlled by Hollywood. But we are. We will go and watch it.
We will.
We will. Oh, man.
But just because loads of people go to see a film doesn't mean it's any good.
Doesn't mean it's any good, exactly, and that's Transformers in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a half shell.
Very good.
Hey.
Well, so there we go. Indiana Jones. First 3 films are fantastic, great fun. 4th one, not so much.
We know it's been ripped to shreds already, and there's nothing more we can really add other than just it was disappointing.
Yeah.
Let's hold out for that 5th one, really. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Nighthall.
Indiana Jones and the Stick of Wood.
Indiana Jones and the Zimmer frame of the exuberating depth.
Yeah. Indiana Jones and the Ball of Wool.
Tom Selleck, Harrison Ford, and the Trinity, Holy Trinity of Jesus Christ exists. River Phoenix could have been Indiana Jones. Shia LaBeouf could have been Indiana Jones. Karen Allen should have just stayed in making Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford, he's done.
You think?
He's done. George Lucas is done. At least we know he's done.
George
now.
Lucas.
But at least we know now that George Lucas is retired.
Yeah, thank God.
Here at Cinedyne, we understand that there is a time and a place for watching blockbuster movies. And there is also a time and a place for enjoying quick and easy food. That time is Cinedyne. We've combined the state-of-the-art movie ritual within our fast-growing change of multiplex cinemas with the must-have dining experience. Your attention and enjoyment of popcorn movies is enhanced by 3,000% thanks to our fully disclosed secret ingredient which you can enjoy within all of your favorite food items. Popcorn, hot dogs, nachos with Ed's special liquid cheese, and not to mention our Cinedyne menu with food suitable for all ages, religions, and counterculture professionals. At Cinedyne, we are proud to use British meat, which is also suitable for all vegetarians, vegans, and diabetics. And for those fussy little children who are ready to sit down and glance occasionally at the screen, every food item contains sherbet of some description. Even our economically sized popcorn boxes are edible.
That's right! You can even eat the plates, Dad!
That's right, little one. Cinedyne has listened, and we know what makes your next movie experience the best one you've ever had. Until next time, that is. Cinedyne. Fanatical about food.
You know, I want to take this opportunity to let the people know how they can contact our friends at Frame by Frame. They do that podcast
You
thing.
know, two guys, yeah, they do the podcast, okay? So
They're nice. They're like a forest, which is a beautiful thing.
Exactly. And so if you want to do the communicating thing, you know, the social networking thing.
Yeah, you can tweet those guys at Frame by Frame 78. If you'd like to go to their website, that will be www.roastedportions.com.
You don't need to do the www. It's implied that it's going to be the World Wide Web.
But people need to know that.
Okay, just go to roastedportions.com, okay? You go down to the right-hand side, you've got the social connections. You can talk to the people who do the show. You can even talk to the people who made that movie, you know, CACO3.
Who'd want to talk to those mooks?
I don't know, they made a pretty interesting movie, right? It was in black and white.
Yeah, black and white. I like that.
We like black and white, and there was also some trees in that movie, too.
Oh, trees. It's like being in a forest, which is a beautiful thing.
Other connections, you can really get to know these people on YouTube as well, and if you want to comment on their podcast, I urge you to do that. Okay?
Yeah, I think it is a proper, really nice thing if people want to start contacting these guys.
Subscribe to them and comment. I mean, it's just polite, you know.
Also, you can email them at framebyframe78@gmail.com.
That's it. I think that's everything wrapped up, so.
Hey, I'm gonna go and plant a tree somewhere.
Okay, you go plant some trees.
I'm gonna go plant a tree.
I'm gonna go tweet.
You tweet, I'll plant a tree.
It's us. We're out of here.